Hello, YouTube. How y'all doing tonight? I hope you're doing very well. I am Queen Lillie. Welcome to my live. We have a lot to discuss, but as you all know, our main topic will be the Epstein files and Donald Trump. We may touch a little here and there on other topics, but what is our main focus? The Epstein files and Donald Trump. We're going to discuss even some things that have to do with Pam Bundy, Donald Trump, and how it's been said that and alleged from Russian TV that Trump planned Charlie Kirk's unaliving. That is from a Russian TV. That is not my opinion. So many things to do with Donald Trump, with the ICE facility pow-powing that has been done by white mediocre male. That's a mega. Yep, that's what's happening. Hit that like button as you come in. Please hit the like button. If you like to donate to my channel, you can send me super chats or super stickers. In my description is my Venmo and my PayPal link. So if you have PayPal or Venmo and you want to bless me, you can do it that way too, okay? Hit the like button as you coming in. Thank you. I am Queen Lillie. Welcome to my live. We're going to hear something from Governor Newsom. You know, what he think about Trump. How he think Trump is trying to make it we no longer have elections because Trump is in fear of losing in 2026. Even these special elections that are happening right now, Donald Trump's MAGA Republican Party are not winning the seats. The Democrats are winning the seats. So we will take over in 2026 and get this country back to where it needs to be. Hello, Queen Victorious One. How you doing, beautiful queen? How you doing? We got a lot of topics, y'all, to cover. A lot of people feel that Trump needs to be in the nursing home. He does not need to be in the Oval Office because when you listen to his speeches he's been doing, like he did at the UN, a bunch of jibber jabber like he did at his rallies. So the American people are not surprised that a lot of people are suggesting that Donald Trump needs to be in a nursing home, retirement home. He actually needs to be in prison. That's what he honestly needs to be. But if they want to put him in a nursing home, fine. Donald Trump needs to go to prison for his crimes that he has not been put in prison for, that he should have been instead of going in the Oval Office. That is where I'm at, and that is my opinion. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I see we got people in here, but I only see one like. Hit that like button, please. Come out them bushes. If you're going to come over here and watch me and Destiny try to swap, you might well hit that like button. I rebuke you to the highest level. So we're going to go ahead and get started, okay? So let's hear something about Pam Bundy. There's a reason that he asked Pam Bundy if she was capable of telling Donald Trump no. So let's see what this is about. Because Pam Bundy is working for Trump, not for the American people, but she's supposed to work for us, the American people. But she's over there catering to Donald Trump's pissy depends.
It would not be appropriate for a prosecutor to start with a name and look for a crime. It's a prosecutor's job to start with a crime and look for a name, correct?
If I am Attorney General, I will not politicize that office. I will not target
but
people
she has.
simply because of their political affiliation. Justice will be administered even-handedly throughout this country.
I think the concern is that weaponization of the Justice Department may well occur under your tenure, and we want to make sure that that's not the case, that you remain independent, that you remain able to and willing to tell the president no. It would not be appropriate for a prosecutor to start with a name and look
right
for
now,
crime.
Pam Bundy is under Donald Trump. Donald Trump sent out a message that he should have actually sent to Pam Bundy, but he sent it where the whole world can see it because he's old and should be in a retirement home. He's not operating in his right mind, and I believe his entire life, in my opinion, Donald Trump has not operated in his correct mind that he should have. But anyway, he sent out a message that he should only have messaged to Pam Bundy Why haven't she done certain things to go against his enemies? For example, Letitia James, yeah, etc. Donald Trump is highly upset with Letitia James because the attorney that he sent after her, they couldn't find anything on Letitia James, so they had to let it go. And Donald Trump is highly upset about that. Him and his pissity pants is very upset because Letitia James, being a black woman of dignity, he can't handle that. Donald Trump doesn't believe that black people have dignity and honesty. Those are two things that's not a part of his character. So he can't see it in black people when he's highly flawed. Moving along. Just a moment, please. So this is unacceptable. And this is how the Mega Watch channel says. They said that Donald Trump has to go. Congress, do your job. He needs a full-time nurse in a retirement home. And I agree.
But you know, we have a border strong, and we have
This is at the UN.
And that shape doesn't just go straight up. That shape is amorphous when it comes to the atmosphere. And if we had the most clean air, and I think we do, we have very clean air. We have the cleanest air we've had in many, many years.
This is his speech at the
problem
UN.
is that other countries, like China, which has air that's a little bit rough, it blows. And no matter what you're doing down here, the air up here tends to get very dirty because it comes in from other countries where their air isn't so clean. And the environmentalists refuse to acknowledge that. But you know,
Y'all, what an embarrassment. This is what he was talking about at the UN. He ain't only he told them they all going to HELL because that's what Donald Trump is going. He is the Antichrist, in my opinion. So he's going right down with his father, Satan. Not only did he tell those people they was going to HELL yesterday, but he told them that their filthiness and dirt is coming over into our country. The filth is Donald Trump, the man in the Oval Office. It's a shame what people love to say and call people filth when they are. Donald Trump is the trash that needs to be taken out. So we're going to listen to Government Newsom because he has a few words for Donald Trump, because Government Newsom feels that Donald Trump is going to try to steal the election, but Donald Trump knows he can't win. So what does he do? He cheats. He don't only cheat on his wives. He don't only cheat at golf. He cheats even in the elections, y'all.
The ultimate fear is that you no longer lose you no longer have your democracy to be able to make change peacefully.
He knows he's going to lose the midterm elections. He's underwater, and he's weak in every category. Donald Trump is weakness masquerading as strength. He's weak in every key category. That's a fact, and I think it's an important fact. He knows that. And that's why he dialed not for votes, but he dialed for seats. He said he's, quote unquote, entitled to 5 seats. Called Greg Abbott, who was totally supine, said, yes, sir, and gave him the 5 seats in Texas to change the maps. He did the same thing in Indiana, Missouri. He's doing the same thing in Florida, likely Ohio, and we'll see what happens in Utah. And Democrats, we're going to hold hands, talk about the way the world should be, say it's just so unfair, maybe write an op-ed. Meanwhile, this guy's consolidating power. And so for us, we decided to push back and fight back. But it's not just that. That's the tip of the iceberg, rigging the midterm election because he knows otherwise he'll lose. When we kicked off the campaign, and this is important for people to understand, when we kicked it off at the Democracy Center in Los Angeles, he sent out ICE and Border Patrol to intimidate folks from walking in to our event. He ended up arresting this poor soul that was just trying to sell strawberries as collateral damage to intimidate us. That is a preview, Stephen, of things to come in voting booths and polling places across this country. He federalized 4,000 National Guard in my state. He still has hundreds of federalized National Guard. He sent the United States Marines, not overseas, but to an American city, 700 active duty Marines. He sent the military to American cities to police American citizens. And the ICE issue is alarming beyond words. It is the largest private domestic army of its type, police force anywhere in the world. He'll have 30,000 people that increasingly appear to be swearing an oath of office to him, not the Constitution of the United States. Again, wake up to what's going on in this country.
It's the ultimate fear.
Wake
is
up,
that-
America. This MAGA terroristic party and Donald Trump, they are destroying America. I'm not drinking Donald Trump's red Kool-Aid. He can't Jim Jones me. He already Jim Jones a vast majority of people, the hillbillies and the rotten teeth people with the fat stomachs and the booty dudes. But he can't have me drink his red Kool-Aid. I can't be taken under and drink Jim Jones Kool-Aid. Wake up, America. So let's take a listen to what this beautiful queen has to say, because in Dallas, Texas, a MAGA Republican went and pow-powed one of the ICE facilities. It's always MAGA. We need pow-pow control in this country because it seems like the white man just can't obey the law. The white man is crazy. He's out there pow-powing up facilities, ICE facilities and all. And what does jdvance try to do? He try to blame it on us left people. No. We're too busy getting education and reading. What MAGA doesn't do, read.
Well. Baby, I'm feeling feral
Fair
today.
use, great for
So you're gonna
educational
have to forgive
purposes,
me.
great
There's been
research,
breaking
and great
news.
entertainment.
If I come fucking unglued, like I said, forgive me in advance, dear. But there's been a shooting at an ICE facility in Dallas, Texas. And when I say nobody, and I do mean nobody knows the motive behind this yet, dear. What we know, apparently, is a white man with a sniper rifle planted his ass on a building across the way from an ICE facility and started shooting indiscriminately into the building, dear. We don't know his motive. What we do know is not one single law enforcement officer was injured, but 2 detainees are no longer with us, baby. They're dead. And a third is in critical condition. That's all we know. But despite that being all that we know, we've got the VP himself. Yes, jdvance in his toddler pants with his queer ass stance. The Maybelline queen, the femboy himself with future dictator dreams. Over there on the Twitter scene. Declare left-leaning lunatics trying to take out law enforcement once again, even though not a single law enforcement officer was injured, dear, and even though we don't know the motive here. But we do know it was another white man with a sniper rifle, baby. And according to the red hats out there on the street, people like me in the blue, we don't own guns, boo. Isn't that what y'all always say? We're weak, we're snowflakes, we got tears in our eyes, and we're scared to be packed down and loaded these days. Isn't that what you fucking say? So tell me, how is it always a white guy with a sniper rifle, baby? And how could they possibly be in the fucking blue since apparently people like me don't own fucking pew-pews? You gotta have...
We need pow control in this country. Because the mediocre white man can't control himself. But they like to paint out the black man as a criminal. But who's doing all these crimes? Huh? They'll go in schools, they'll go in churches and pow them up. Then they'll get out and claim it's the black man that's so dangerous. Oh my God, that big old black man, I'm scared of him. George Zimmerman, that boy was a big boy. That was a teen boy. Trayvon Martin. And he didn't pow anyone. But George Zimmerman, the fat slob, did. It's always a mediocre white man that's out here causing all these problems. But you want to paint the black man as the enemy and the bad person. But we see with our own eyes who the bad person is. It's that mediocre white man. Who did the crimes? Who? Who went and pow-powed up an ICE facility? A MAGA mediocre white man? Yeah, that's who did it. Just can't control yourself. You love violence. It's a fact. Every time we turn around, it's one of you. committing crimes 24/7. You need to be on medication. Just a moment, please. I'm going to make a statement on something because it was something I was watching earlier. And here we go. Who wants to hear the truth? Charlie Kirk got out of line. He spoke on the Epstein files, as we all know, and I played the video of him speaking on the Epstein files. His wife has known Trump since she was a teen. She was in one of Trump's pageants, and he allowed her to win. I will let you marinate on this right here. Do your homework. His memorial yesterday was about a transfer of power back to the person Trump knew first. See, Trump introduced those two. They met each other through Trump. If you pay attention at that memorial, it was not like a memorial. It was a transfer of power. Just think about it. Go watch it. She knew Donald Trump before she knew Charlie. Charlie said that Donald Trump and his cabinet need to release the Epstein files. And he just kept yapping and yapping and yapping and yapping and yapping. Yap, running those thin D suckers. And look at him, gone. By one of his own. Not a brown man, not a black man. We didn't make ketchup come out of his neck. It's that mediocre white man that did. Charlie is gone today. Think about it. Why would Charlie be gone? What did Charlie do to disappear? From what the Russian news is saying, this is what the Russian state news has to say, and I'm going to read it to you. The Russian state TV floats theory. Trump planned Charlie Kirk's unaliving. Charlie Kirk wouldn't keep that mouth closed. He got out of line with old daddy. He started talking about the Epstein files. And Donnie wanted everybody to shut up about those Epstein files. Charlie's gone right now, Mega. Just a moment, please. So it's literally black and white between President Barack Obama and Donald Trump. Listen to one give a speech and the other. Who's the IQ, the low IQ, and who's the high IQ? This is very puzzling and funny at the same time. Because Donnie gives a bunch of jibber jabber while President Barack Obama is highly educated, a Harvard graduate. Donald Trump, a 34-count felon. Sorry, one moment. Just a moment, please.
I am told that the last 3 speakers here have been the Pope, Her Majesty the Queen, and Nelson Mandela, which is either a very high bar or the beginning of a very funny joke.
Look at that man, handsome.
I've come here today to reaffirm one of the oldest, one of the strongest alliances the world has ever known.
Deeply grateful to you and Queen Camilla for your extraordinary graciousness. It's a singular privilege to be the first American president welcomed here. And
He's lying.
think about it, it's a lot of presidents, and
because President Barack
this was
just
the
spoke.
second state visit.
And President Barack spoke at it.
That's the first, and maybe that's going to be the last time. I hope it is, actually.
The reason I'm showing this comparison, because that was President Barack Obama speaking at the Royal Palace. And Trump says he's the first president to go, and he wants to be the last. He's delusional. His entire cabinet delusional. And MAGA, the terroristic group, is delusional. Should I play it again, MAGA? That's proof. Trump lied. He's never been the first president to go to the royal palace. The black man went there. He spoke with such intelligence. Why Donald Trump? He's sleepy. Ain't that's what y'all call President Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe? Honey, with Donald Trump fall asleep everywhere he go. And I would prefer President Joe Biden over Donald Trump any day. See, Donald Trump is special needs, but because he's been a white man, he has been petted and treated so kindly. Instead of just telling him something ain't right about you, boy. You ain't special at all. You're a mediocre little white boy with special needs. And it was never treated.
You know why they won't teach us the history of Egypt? After you have shackled and enslaved a people, branded, castrated, lynched, burned, and tortured them, you called them 3/5 of a man, subspecies, an ape, a monkey, and a general inferior creation. How can we then admit that they are our teachers and the ones who gave us civilization? How can we admit that we descended from Greece and from Rome, and that Greece and Rome stole everything they knew from Egypt? How to admit that? There's no room in a white supremacist psyche for black contributions to civilization or world progress. This reaches too far into the consciousness of the so-called objective white scholars of academia and their black-skinned counterparts. This is like asking a Nazi to accept the Jewish origins of Nazism and of Hitler, if that were the case. They couldn't accept it if it were true any more than the white supremacists can accept the African origins of civilization, the African origins of Christianity, the African origins of science, the African origins of everything. Philosophy originated in Egypt. Math originated in Egypt. Theology originated in Egypt. Philosophy originated in Egypt. Letters originated in Egypt. Everything started there. They were as ancient to the Romans as the Romans now are to us. And that's what we don't really understand because we live now. We don't really understand that the pyramids are 5,000 years old and that the Romans only date back 2,500 years. Like, really think about that.
I'm going to make a statement. Well, let me say this first. This was about the truth about Africa would destroy their narrative. I'm going to make a statement. The white race is only 6,000 years old. Black people been here longer than that. Africans, we've been on this earth longer than you white people. That's a fact. Your race is only 6,000 years old. Everything you know from your ancestors to mine was taught by my great ancestors. We even taught you how to wash your butt. But y'all hate us. And y'all continue to target our universities. Hold on.
Now, as many of you all know, I normally don't address people whose skin looked like it was left on a shelf in a back alley meth-sponsored grocery store, but here we are. It was brought to my attention that there is a filler-faced platypus online spewing hate about black people and in particular Representative Jasmine Crockett. And to that I say, you're weak. And what I do know is that my ancestors should have drowned yours instead of breastfeeding them. But then you look like one of those people that came from an inbred family that couldn't even afford to have one of us. You were okay in a one-room shack bumping uglies with your cousin as long as somebody gave you a gun or a horse and told you you were an overseer. When you go home at night and take off your purge mask, you still feel empty. And you have no other recourse than to resort to racism because that is who you are. You can't take intelligent black people around you because you are not smart yourself. So the last thing I want you to do is to come for any one of us and think that we're not going to say something to you. That's the problem right there. And with this whole country, when you all have nothing else to say, you resort to racism. Honey, you don't know what a ghetto black bitch look like. You ain't never been around one or you wouldn't even be here. Okay? So watch your mouth and watch your tone. Bye.
Shall I proceed? Yes, indeed. Shall I proceed? We need order around here. Because every time one of yours go and pow yours, y'all target black people. When the person that harmed who you care about is a white mediocre male. A black person didn't do it. A black person didn't take Charlie up out of here. And today, that was not a black person. It was one of yours. Y'all are dangerous people. You've been this way forever. Get control of yourselves. Let's listen to some Jasmine Crockett. Then we're going to get on over to the Epstein situation in just a moment, okay?
Conspiracy is complete at the agreement. And so whether or not, like, you could actually carry it
She
out
is so pretty.
doesn't matter. What matters is that you make the agreement. And now, just like we saw in Nixon, when Nixon decided, you know what, it's getting a little too hot in here, in a bipartisan way, they're about to boot me, I'm going to just go ahead and bow out. Part of the biggest issue with Nixon was the cover-up of it. That became the bigger issue. And now that's what we see with this administration. Not only are they going out and they are doing illegal things, they are then engaging in a cover-up over these things instead of just being transparent. The conspiracy is complete at the agreement. And so whether or not, like, you could actually...
She makes a valuable point. What is happening right now? The MAGA Republican Party is doing the worst cover-up job ever. Nixon had a cover-up, but he eventually bowed out because he knew it was time to go. But see, Donald Trump is stuck on that white power. He don't want to bow out and go bye-bye. So he's just going to make it worse for himself. He's going to take himself down. We don't have to do it, y'all. It's going to be himself and a MAGA Republican that take him out. The same thing with the MAGA Republican with Charlie. It wasn't a brown person. It wasn't a black person. It was one of their own. What a nuisance. What a nuisance. MAGA, y'all are the most confused bunch ever. Who raised you? But then I think about it, it's just in your DNA. Y'all always has been this way. Always been this way. Violent. So we're going to take a listen, and this has to do with pertaining to Epstein and his Brokeback Mountain broke Donald Trump.
I only knew Jeffrey Epstein for 5 days during a trip to Zorro Ranch. His massive compound surrounded by government land in the New Mexico desert. Epstein took my sexual innocence in front of a wall of framed photographs of him shaking hands and
look who's in the photograph
and political leaders. I was only 15 years old. After, he wanted to talk with me about what had just been my first sexual experience and directed me to take time to myself that night to cry. He said that would be beneficial to my growth. After this, we had a long talk about my future goals. I told him that I wanted to go to college to study biochemistry. He said that he wanted to give me money for college. He asked me how much money I thought he should give me. At 15 years old, living in northern Michigan with my mother, stepfather, and grandfather, I had no idea how to respond to a billionaire who had just raped me. I only knew
who photos is back there in the back? What Epstein made her do. A photo of him with Melania in the middle and Donald Trump. Tell me, MAGA. Donnie wasn't friends with his man. MAGA, you really believe that Donald Trump didn't do anything that he should not have done with those young girls? You know, birds of a feather flock together, you know. I don't know if your mama or daddy ever taught you that, to keep you from being around the wrong people. But MAGA, you are the wrong people. Oh, Lord Jesus, help them. So this is some more Epstein situation. The Epstein files and Donald Trump.
Jeffrey Epstein has every major U.S. politician on video doing something terrible, probably to a child, okay, or to multiple people. The bottom line here is the United States government has become so corrupt that the time has come, I think, to clean the crap out of the stables and start over. What has happened over the years is the federal government has become an oppressive imperialist power in debt to the banks. We should not be borrowing money. The Constitution provides for printing money, not borrowing money. We've now reached the end of our descent into hell. For 1/3 of what we all spend on military wars, not the military, but military wars, for 1/3 of that, we could raise the 5 billion poor. The whole point of grand strategy is to not only prevent wars, but to stop refugees from coming here. Those refugees are coming here because we bombed their country into nothing. If you continue to bomb the rest of the world, they are going to come to your neighborhood because it's the only one not being bombed. All right, so we are creating these refugees. Jeffrey Epstein has every major U.S. politician on video doing something terrible, probably to a child, okay, or to...
Donnie, does Jeffrey Epstein have video of you doing the ungodly tricks? You one trick pony, Donnie? Because you know Epstein will go to Russia quite often. And Putin has something of you, Donnie. Did Epstein give Putin videos of you doing the ungodly, Donnie, with children? Is that what Epstein had on you? Now Putin has it over you. And that's why you put them knee pads on for Putin. Don't you, Donnie? You just can't get enough of them. Look who we got running the country, Lord. One moment, please. So, as you all know, there's a statue with Epstein and Donnie that's in D.C. at the mall. Hold on. It's just so humorous, and I'm enjoying every bit of it because Donnie is getting the welcoming of being in the Oval Office the way he deserves it. Run him, because he ruined people's lives. While he's in that Oval Office, Donald Trump is running our lives. The American people's lives are being run daily by Donald J. Trump. So this is what's going on. This is the statue of Donnie and his Brokeback Mountain buddy, Jeffrey E. Epstein. Isn't it a beautiful statue? Best friends, Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. So it said, best friends forever. Statue of Trump and Epstein holding hands appears in D.C. So I'm going to read you the article. The National Park Service and U.S. Park Police removed the statue Wednesday morning due to it not being in accomplice with the permit, which said it could stay in front of the Capitol until Sunday night. A spray-painted bronze statue titled Best Friends Forever, that depicts Donald Trump and financier Jeffrey Epstein holding hands appeared on the National Mall in front of the U.S. Capitol early Tuesday morning. A group calling itself the Secret Handshake Society was issued a permit by the National Park Service to install the political artwork and keep it in place until 8 p.m. Sunday. The installation, which stands over 12 feet tall, includes its pedestal, is made from foam, wood, wire, and resin, and took about 4 weeks to build, the artist said. A plaque at the base of his installation reads, We celebrate the long-lasting bond between Donald J. Trump and his closest friend, Jeffrey Epstein. Isn't it just lovely? Donnie, you're never going to get rid of this Epstein situation because we, the American people, are going to make sure you don't forget. You're slimy and you're grimy. This is just lovely. It's everything that we need in honor of Friendship Month. So we're going to hear a little bit of something from some journalists when they saw the statue of Donnie in his Brokeback Mountain buddy Epstein, okay? So Trump and Epstein statue. One moment.
We know Donald Trump has always wanted a statue in his honor, but I'm not sure this is what he had in mind. What do you think about this?
Well, what do I think about it?
Yeah.
I think it's an excellent, comment on where we stand right now in society. If we got someone who's hiding their truth, just release it. Release the files.
Why do you think he doesn't want to release the files?
He's in them. It's that simple.
First of all, I should ask, did you know what this was as soon as you walked up?
Yeah, I actually saw it on TikTok this morning, and so I knew we had to come and see it for ourselves.
You saw it on TikTok?
I did, yeah.
It's famous already.
Already, yeah. I think it's the most popular thing on the mall right now.
I was just going to ask you, what do you think about this Trump-Epstein statue?
Well, I think it's hilarious. I think it's, I think it all makes sense. They're not lying. I think there's a relationship before he took over the presidency, yeah.
Why do you think he won't release the files?
Because he knows he's dirty. Like, there's no doubt about that. But, yeah, he's got power, and that's why he's protecting him.
You guys are Trump supporters? You guys like Trump, or?
Yeah.
You like him?
Yeah, I like him.
Why do you think he won't release the files?
Because he's on it.
You still like him, though?
If he's on it, probably not, no.
Well, he's on
This
it,
part just
dummy.
might be the icing on the cake. You got the statue right here, but off in the distance, hanging on the Department of Labor, is the Kim Jong-un-like Trump banner. You gotta love it.
And Trump, that banner, Trump, he really thinks he's attractive. Trump, you're not attractive. Nothing about you is attractive. Your sons look like you, oogly. You like your mom and your daddy, and they was oogly, deformed, inbreed. Oh, my God. So, Jimmy Kimmel, honey, Trump, you could not get him out. You're not going to be able to get rid of him because last night he roasted you. He's back.
He did his best to cancel me. Instead, he forced millions of people to watch the show. That backfired bigly. He might have to release the Epstein files to distract us from this now. He did his best to cancel me. Instead, he forced millions of people to watch the show.
Jimmy Kimmel is back, and he's not going to stop talking about you, Donnie. No, we're all talking about you in the Jeffrey Epstein files. So, fat boy, what you going to do? Because we're not going to stop talking about you in the Jeffrey Epstein files. Release the files. And what's so sickening about MAGA? They're going to stand behind this man even if they see any photos or videos of him doing something to children. They will still support Donald Trump. You're a sick group, a sick terroristic group.
Trump's only expertise on crime is committing it, not preventing it, enabling it, not ending it, and covering it up, not cleaning it up. He is a convicted felon. He has illegally frozen federal funding. He has assaulted the rule of law at every turn. He has consistently violated constitutionally protected due process rights, and he has unleashed a corporate agenda to enrich himself and his wealthy donors. Right now, as we sit here, Trump is bending over backwards to protect Ghislaine Maxwell, a convicted sex trafficker who preyed on children, and blocking the release of the Epstein files to shield criminals from accountability. In the last 10 months, months alone, he has pardoned countless white-collar fraudsters who ripped off the American people, often conveniently after they cozied up to him. And let's not forget, Trump pardoned every single person charged or convicted in the January 6th insurrection. That included 172 people who pleaded guilty to assaulting law enforcement. It included dozens of repeat offenders, people with prior convictions for rape, manslaughter, and sexual abuse of a minor. And it included at least 10 individuals who have already been rearrested for new crimes. So spare us the talk of law and order, because under Trump, that only means lawlessness for his friends and punishment for everyone else. President Trump's only expertise on crime is committing it, not preventing it.
Woo! When I tell you, that was a sermon right there. See, MAGA need to go to a black church so they can learn something. Then you can be entertained and learn at the same time. And you can really feel the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, not your Savior Donald Trump. She gave a word right there. Uh-huh. Right now, some of our brown brothers are missing from alligator Alcatraz system. We can't trust a mediocre white man. History repeats itself. If you're not a mediocre, racist white man, this doesn't pertain to you. Stand strong like a king if you love every race, black, brown, etc. This message is for the racist, mediocre white men and women. So we're going to just take a listen to our girl, Jasmine Crockett. You know, she never gets it wrong. No.
For a very long time about mass incarceration, that it's about profiting in this country, right? And so now they've thrown these people into these makeshift bootleg prisons. I've had an opportunity to go down to one of the detention facilities. We know that it's a whole cluster. When we look at alligator Alcatraz, the idea that we even have one is the most inhumane violation of the 8th Amendment if I ever saw one before. But nevertheless, they have set these things up. There's all these contracts that are going out. When I went to El Paso, I asked them approximately how many people are working here. They told me hundreds of people. It was, I think, 700 people a day were working at this facility. So I asked how many are federal government employees. It was 25. Everybody else was on a contract. Everybody got a contract from somewhere. And I can promise you 10 out of 10 of them contracts are Trump's homies, right? And people that Holman was trying to say, yo, I'm going to hook you up. We're going to have contracts because we about to go round up all these people of color and we going to put them somewhere and y'all going to make money off. They always say, follow the money.
Yep, follow the money. See, Trump's goal is to do away with the black and brown people. But in this country and the world, it's only 6% white people. And you haven't been around but 6,000 years. And black people have been here before anybody else. It's going to take a long time to get rid of us. You've been trying so long, it has not worked. Has it? And then there's a Laura Loomer, the girl that tried to run for Congress twice and didn't run. But Donald Trump insists on taking political advice from her. Yeah. The one that looks like a witch, Laura Loomer. She looks inbreed too.
Laura Loomer attacks Jasmine. Wait, it's not Laura Loomer. Laura Loomer attacks Jasmine Crockett over on X, stating, "It hurts my heart that we have ghetto black bitches who hate America serving in Congress. Trailer Park Loomer is jealous because she butchered her own face trying to steal the natural features of black women, but ended up looking like Jigsaw instead. Jasmine Crockett at 44 still looks fresher and younger than Loomer at 32 years of age. Laura Loomer is a two-time loser. She ran for Congress twice, and the American voters rejected her twice. And even with all of the advantages this country hands white women, she still couldn't win. She latched onto Trump like a groupie, kissed his ass, and he still tossed her aside like the trash she really is, just like everyone else does. Even though Loomer has most of the advantages of a white society that was built just for her success, she still somehow managed to be a less than mediocre, unaccomplished failure, and she's seething because she has to watch Jasmine Crockett, a brilliant black woman, do everything that Trailer Park Loomer tried really hard to do, but couldn't. Jasmine Crockett is a highly educated, successful lawyer with her own firm, a sitting two-term congresswoman, a huge star in the media, and she did it with fewer resources, none of the white privilege, none of the botched plastic surgery or male validation. She did it with brains, talent, and determination, all while wearing the natural, full black lips Loomer tried but failed to duplicate. Meanwhile, the only attention Laura Loomer gets is from acting like a Trailer Park Jerry Springer guest who picks childish fights with people on the internet like a bitter, washed-up racist mean girl who's waiting to be handed her little participation trophy from the predator men she puts into power.
You ain't demure, honey. You diabolical.
Ooh, I ain't even had to get ugly tonight because, you know, she just been reading these mediocre white people down. Yeah, she just been reading them down. But we do have some beautiful white people. But the ones that come in my chat, they're just not that great. And they're low IQ with bad genes. They're inbreeds too. See, a lot of your family members, y'all like to sleep together and birth babies together. That's incest. So we're going to go out of here with a little bit. We're going to play something about Candace Owens because right now, I believe they're going to take her up out of here because Candace Owens is doing like Charlie Kirk. Won't let it go. And talking about the Epstein files too. So this is going to be the last video we watch. And take a good listen.
They're going to kill this woman. They are going to kill Candace Owens. This woman's life is in danger. I'm telling you. She's speaking down facts.
For Trump, this is mask down, okay? People are referring to this as treason, and that would, I think, be the accurate term to describe what is happening here. He is going to deny Americans in need disaster funding if he finds out that that city or state that is in need is boycotting Israel.
Americans are going
to hit the like button, please.
If they boycott Israel and they've gone through a natural disaster where their house has been destroyed, they've lost their family members, they're going to be told, no, you are not getting no relief funding because you boycott Israel.
And Trump is saying, yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you screaming. I hear that that's a hurricane and, you know, maybe it's wiped away your entire family, your entire house. But do you support Israel?
They don't even let you to choose who you can buy from. This is the Western democracy.
מי שיחרים אותנו מוחרם בעצמו. בשנים האחרונות קידמנו בארצות הברית, ויש כבר ברוב המדינות שם, חוקים שמי שמחרים את ישראל נענש בעצמו. אז זה לא יעזור להם, אנחנו לא מתרגשים מזה, ואנחנו נלחמים בזה.
Oh my goodness, can you imagine saying, we're going to change some laws in America? It's like, what the flipping are you talking about? You've got a foreign government, a foreign president, telling you what he's planning on doing in America, like he owns America, and he does. But you guys are not the United States of America. You are the United States of Israel. You are owned by them. And this is the beginning of the end of Israel. The Americans are waking up to this.
Try the Quran app today.
I'm telling you.
I'm going to tell you what I learned about America. The people in power, the ones that they go and take up out of here for running their mouth so much, they pretend to celebrate them. They'll give them a memorial. So pay attention to the ones that are celebrating people that are being unalived. Those are the people that had it done. So when they take Candace Owens up out of here, which I pray they don't do it to that poor girl, they're going to celebrate her too. So this was rather humorous because we won't get a laugh at Trump because Trump is rather funny. So he was on the escalator, but he blamed that on the UN. But it was really his own people. Oh, I can't play the music. Hold on, but watch this. The escalator gets stuck. It stopped. And Fat Boy got to walk up the escalator. This is funny. And he blamed it on the UN, but it was his own security that did it. I love laughing at Trump. He's fat and ugly. They say he smells. He wears a diaper. He's low IQ, bad genes, a 34-count felon. There's nothing special about him. Just another mediocre white man that loves power, white power. Yep. Lord. Let me see what this is about. One moment.
Folks with college degrees are 80% more likely than white folks with degrees to be unemployed in any given year. Latinx folks with college degrees are about 50% more likely to be unemployed than white folks with a degree, even in the same field. Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders with a degree, about 20% more likely to be unemployed than comparable white folks. Indigenous folks with a degree, about 2/3 more likely to be unemployed than comparable white folks. So even when black and brown folks do all the same stuff, stay in class, get the same degree, they are still not having the same outcomes. We know right now that the typical white family in America with a high school dropout as the head of household actually has 25% more net worth than a black household headed by a college grad. Let me say that again because you will not hear it mentioned in the mainstream press. White households headed by high school dropouts have more net worth, about 20% more in most years. Sometimes it gets up to 30, sometimes it drops to 15, but usually about 20% greater net worth than black households headed by college grads. So if education was a great equalizer, that wouldn't be true. But it is true.
Drop the mic. You know, Charlie Kirk was a college dropout. Charlie Kirk was not high IQ. He dropped out of college. And I finished college. Jasmine Crockett, high IQ. Several degrees. If I'm not mistaken, she has 4 degrees. High IQ. Kamalaharris, several degrees. High IQ. Donald Trump, 1 business degree, fell in grades. Low IQ. And the thing is, the fact is, and it remains, the black woman is the most educated in this country. Every day, y'all are targeting black people. When black people just want to get up, go to work, and spread love to everybody else. But you get up every day and you choose violence, white people, the mediocre white man. You need to go to therapy. Because black people, we're not your enemy. The enemy is within you. And the enemy within is sitting in that Oval Office. That's who you need to be mad at. Every time one of y'all commit a crime and go out and pow somebody, y'all get mad at the black person and blame us when we didn't do it. Get a brain. If you only had a brain. Stop blaming black people for what you're doing. We're too busy trying to pay bills and get an education. But y'all busy going and powing up things, buildings, churches, schools. Always a mediocre white man. Go to therapy. Good night, everyone. See you tomorrow. Bye. I love you.